It's Floyd 19. This was the tweet that sent shockwaves through the heart of the CrossFit community. On the 6th of June, the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation tweeted a message that racism is a public health issue. Greg Glassman, the man behind the billion-dollar CrossFit brand, tweeted, "It's Floyd 19, in a reference to the coronavirus global pandemic. He followed up with a second tweet. "Your failed model quarantined us, and now you're going to model a solution to racism. George Floyd's brutal murder sparked riots nationally." Glassman also told gym owners on a private call that, "We're not mourning for George Floyd. I don't think me or any of my staff are. Can you tell me why I should mourn for him other than it's the white thing to do?" Hundreds of CrossFit gyms began ditching their affiliation with the brand. Adidas, who own Reebok, the sport's main sponsor, pulled their multi-million-dollar endorsement. CrossFit's top competitors from around the world vowed to take a stand.
I am incredibly saddened, disappointed, and frustrated with the actions and words of CrossFit headquarters, and in particular, Greg Glassman.
Greg Glassman, the man who started CrossFit from his mother's garage and turned it into a billion-dollar industry, had nowhere to hide. On the day of George Floyd's funeral in Texas, the CrossFit CEO resigned. Or as he put it, retired. Gustavo Vaz Tostes has made a career out of the sport. The former CrossFit athlete is now a gym owner and the head coach at Wit Fitness in London. With thousands of followers on Instagram, the Brazilian is a popular and well-known figure in the sport.
I think for me personally, it means everything. Simply, and when I say that, it's because everything I have today, or as far as I have got today, it's because of that CrossFit community.
So it's fair to say then that CrossFit is your whole life. It is who you are today. What did you make then when you read those comments? What was your first reaction after reading those tweets?
I think the best feeling to describe it, I think I felt betrayed. I was loyal, I am loyal to this brand, to this community. And this community stands for equality, to be inclusive. And that just really betrayed those thoughts, that what I believe in.
CrossFit is an exercise brand that incorporates movements like high-intensity interval training, Olympic weightlifting, and powerlifting. Over 13,000 gyms pay a fee upwards of $3,000 to be affiliated with CrossFit. Gus, like many other high-profile athletes, believe that society and sport has to do better when it comes to racism.
People have learned that you cannot just be silent. If you believe in unifying all the races, being equal to everyone, and that's people's right. It's not even a belief, that's a right. You cannot be silent. You have to react to acts of racism or even comments or jokes. From now on, it has to be different.
With sponsors pulling the plug on CrossFit, the brand's future is hanging in the balance. Greg Glassman apologized for his controversial comments before stepping down as CEO. But even after giving up his role, it's unclear how much influence the multi-millionaire has really relinquished, as he still owns the brand.
I think that could be the final nail in the coffin for CrossFit. I think people will start to look elsewhere. I mean, CrossFit's just a brand. Right? It isn't CrossFit as in that's the sport. It's just a name. It's a tag name. And I think other people go and do exactly the same thing in other gyms and just rebrand it.
Glassman's tone-deaf comments have riled the fitness industry. But for Gus and the other leading athletes who have committed their lives to the sport, the message is loud and clear. One man does not represent us all.
As a company, you have to react and support the right thing. And again, like I said, if you are not doing that, you just betraying those people that follow you.
The response to Glassman's comments from the CrossFit community has been swift and largely united. Thousands of livelihoods have been affected and a multi-billion-dollar industry hangs in the balance. CrossFit has replaced its CEO and promised change, but it may already be too little too late. Lance Santos, TRT World, London.
Zach, George is undoubtedly one of the biggest names in CrossFit circles, major influencer, brand and business owner, leading athlete in the UK. Good to have you on Beyond the Game. You've sacrificed quite a lot to get where you are. I'd love to get a sense of how you first felt when you first read Greg Glassman's comments.
I think it was mixed emotions between sad, angry and disappointed that the CEO of a brand that we love and my sport that I've dedicated 6-7 years to can just come out with a statement like that. And yeah, it was very, very sad time, and that does not reflect the community's opinions whatsoever. I've done CrossFit for 7 years and never come across any sort of racial abuse. So for our CEO of the brand to come out with a statement like that, it was yeah, angry, sad and disappointed.
Zach, is it a lose-lose situation at the moment? I mean, you've got the CEO of CrossFit tweeting racist comments. You've got brands leaving and sponsorships falling through. Is it a lose-lose situation for CrossFit at the moment, in your opinion?
No, it's troubled times, obviously, but I think it's really got the community together, from grassroots levels to box owners to high-level athletes. Everyone's got together and demanded a change. So I don't think it's a lose-lose situation, because I really think we can benefit from this and make a positive change. And I think if CrossFit can handle this in the right way and make the correct changes, our sport and our community can really benefit from that. So I think if it's handled in the right way, we can really grow from it and really push on throughout the years and let the sport and the community thrive even more. I just think CrossFit have to really deal with it in the right way.
I'm glad you talk about positive change. How do you envisage that positive change happening? What tangible steps need to be taken for CrossFit to turn this around and make it a positive change, as you say?
So for me, at the minute, Greg Glassman has stepped down as CEO, which is a step in the right direction, but he still owns 100% of the company. So all the money will still end up in his pockets, which I think is what the community is still very annoyed about. So I think for them to really thrive, Greg Glassman has to step away from the company 100%. So he will have to sell his shares, as well as stepping down as CEO. So he's totally detached from the company. And then possibly the affiliate owners could buy shares in the company, and the sport could get a governing body. So it's not just run by one man's decision, and the community can have a real say of how the sport and how the brand kind of navigates through the future. Whereas at the minute, it's just one man makes all the decisions and whatever he says goes. But if the affiliate owners could have a say in the direction of CrossFit, I think that could be a really big, powerful move forward.
Zach, and then you posted on Instagram that you've been overwhelmed by the support from especially fans of yours. What have they been saying?
I think they just say thank you, and they're very grateful that I've kind of stepped up and really spoken about what's been going on, because I think athletes of my level, we all have a platform and we should use it for a positive thing and a positive change. So I think they're all very grateful that their voices could be heard, and yeah, they're just really grateful, and they all just say thank you, because the worst thing you can do in these times is be silent, because then that doesn't demand a change. So we've got to use our platforms as athletes and as people who inspire other people. We've got to use those platforms for a positive change and really get our voices out there. And yeah, everyone's just been so appreciative and very grateful. And I'm really glad I've been able to do that and speak for the community.
Yeah, a number of young athletes really look up to you. How is it that you'd like them to remember you during these difficult times then?
I think I'd like them to remember me as someone who stands up and is not afraid to say how they feel and stand up for the right choices. Like I said, the worst thing that people can do at the minute is be silent, and that would be such a waste of your platform and the people who look up to you. So I'd like to be remembered as someone who's extremely motivated, extremely driven, but then also isn't afraid to to speak out and stand up for what's right.
Really appreciate your insights, Zach. George, all the best. Good to have you on Beyond the Game.